Have you ever woken up to the smell of fresh bacon and breakfast sausage cooking in your kitchen? Well, that was a Saturday tradition in my household, and I wanted to make it a tradition in the anabolic community as well. So today, in the anabolic laboratory, we are making breakfast sausage that tastes better than the turkey sausage at the store, but for the same amount of calories and more protein. My name is Nick. I have my master's in exercise physiology. I'm an online fitness coach, and I make recipes and give fitness advice as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you are ready to prep some delicious yet calorie-friendly breakfast sausage that you can make in less than 10 minutes, then let's get into it. All the way back to about October-ish of last year is when I started working on this recipe, because everyone and their mother had turkey pepperoni and Canadian bacon in the recipes, but no one really had any Italian sausage, which I've already covered, or breakfast sausage. So I made a couple of different YouTubers, including Ethan Chablowski. I made his recipe. I tried to make someone else's recipe. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then I started making my own, and I wasn't happy with it. So it got shelved for a little while. I just stepped back to trying to make this recipe a few weeks ago, and I was so lucky to find the channel That 1870s Homestead. I will definitely be linking the video that the basis of this recipe comes from in the pinned comments below. And if you go check it out, leave them a comment and let them know that I sent you. Much like me with my anabolic cookie dough, they went from recipe to recipe to recipe, trying everything out, looking at a bunch of different recipes, seeing what was actually in every one of them, and combining it all together to finally formulate the perfect seasoning or spices to make a perfect breakfast sausage. We are going to start with a pound of 93.7 ground beef. We could use 96.4 for a little bit less calories, but I found this one to be perfect for the amount of fat balance and flavor and tasting like a real breakfast sausage than the 96.4, but feel free to use the 96.4 instead. And before I get my hands on this meat, I'm gonna turn my pan on medium low here to get it preheated, because literally this is gonna be thrown together in the next 3 to 4 minutes. Again, I wanna add a little bit more fat and flavor to this, so I'm gonna add 5 grams of olive oil. And this makes about 5 1/3 servings, so you're only actually adding 1 gram of olive oil per serving. Then 1 gram of ground sage, 1 gram of ground thyme. Oh, and if you can't find the ground version, this one wasn't ground. I just bought this today, and you could see after grounding it, it goes about halfway down the bottle. How I did that was, if you have a Ninja, which most of my viewers do, they give you these cups that you could do like smoothies with, that you have a blender or whatever on it, and you put the thyme in here and you literally mix up for 30 seconds and it's all ground up. Same thing if you can't get ground sage. You could ground whatever in one of those smoothie blender thingamabobbers. We're gonna go with 6 grams of salt. You could use sea salt. This is the pink Himalayan salt. I just use this one because this one's easy. I just turn it upside down and it automatically goes for me, and I could count it out, but any kind of salt will work. Now we have our sugar-free Miss Buttersworth. We are using 30 grams of this. Next, we're gonna use the Swerve brown sugar. You only need 8 grams of this. So if you don't have Swerve brown sugar on hand and you only have regular brown sugar, you will add 30 calories to the total. That's only about 5 calories per serving, but you can still make it with regular brown sugar since it's only an extra 30 calories or so. 1 gram of black pepper. 1 gram of crushed red pepper. You want about 0.8 grams of nutmeg if you don't have a point scale, which I do recommend, and it's only about 20 bucks. But if you don't have one, it is about half of a teaspoon. Gram of cayenne pepper, 1 gram of paprika, and 12.5 grams of dry, non-fat milk. What this does is really helps hold everything together when you're trying to form it into a patty. So if you don't use this, you might have a tougher time making the actual patties, but why not use it? Because all it does is add more protein to it while adding minimal calories and help hold it together. And again, if you don't have a point scale, you can do 13 grams too. An extra half gram isn't gonna kill you. Now, literally all we do is mix. So I will be back in 1 minute. Okay, bye. Our pan is on medium low and preheated. Our mix is ready to go. And I want about 3 ounces of meat, but with all the spices and everything else that we added in, it ends up being about 93 grams per serving. And what I wanna do is I wanna make 2 balls of 46.5, 47, whatever grams, and make those into patties. So I'm gonna grab 47 grams. Now, someone told me to spray my hands in the last video so the meat doesn't stick as much. So I'm gonna try that out and see how it works. It's really working with this barely any oil on my hands. Okay, so I made this into a ball. What we wanna do now is literally just have it in our palm and flatten it. Now, if you cook burgers, if you cooked any kind of meat like this before, you know as it cooks, it condenses and thickens up. So I'm gonna make mine a little bit thinner. And when ready, I'm gonna put it right on. And that's the noise you wanna hear. You know it's preheated and ready to go. It only takes about 2 or 3 minutes per side, so stay here and don't walk away. Now, one thing to note, these taste the best after it sits in the seasoning for about a day. For video purposes, obviously, I'm not gonna let it sit and it still tastes great right out of the gate. But kind of like with my cookie dough, when you let it sit for a day, it really lets all those flavors combine and emulsify. Hell yeah, emulsify. I don't even know if that makes sense, but you get my point. Now I wanna do this with the McChicken and see if it does the same thing, because if that helps with the McChicken, man, that's a game changer. All right, it's been a couple minutes. Let's flip our first one over. Beautiful. Now, if you don't like any char on it, you can turn it down a little bit and kind of let it slow cook, or you can flip them a little faster. As you can see, the last two don't really have that on here. I do like a little bit darker of a char on mine though, so I made mine a little bit darker. While these cook, let's go over the macros. For a fully cooked version, you're getting about 75 grams of cooked meat, which is about 15 or 16 grams more than the in-store version. And you're getting about the same amount of calories, but theirs are usually 4 or 5 less grams of protein per serving. So in ours, you have 148 calories, 7 grams of fat, 4 carbs, and 18 grams of protein. Now, if you want to use the 96.4 meat, you can, and it'll be about 15 less calories, so it'll be about 130 calories per serving for that one with about the same protein. Now, not only do you get more protein than the turkey sausage from the store, but you also get a lot more flavor, which these taste way better, which was the whole reason why I started doing this, because I didn't like this ones in the store. And this is also a little bit cheaper than the ones at the store as well. And as you could see, literally combine all the ingredients together and you're ready to go. It's been a couple minutes. The sausages are now done and ready to go. And I'm gonna let these cool off for a few minutes and then we'll take a little taste test. I mean, this hits perfectly on about every note. You taste the maple. The spices remind me of a regular full-fat pork breakfast sausage, and the little bit of extra oil just adds that flavor that would remind you of it being cooked in oil. You could even see how juicy it is. 0% dry, all of the moistness that you and all of your friends would want. And a little bit of spice with it as well. You better believe in the upcoming videos, we are going to use this breakfast sausage in a multitude of ways, and every single way is going to be unique yet delicious. Exerciseforcheatmeals.com for coaching. Check out that 1870s homestead if you want other ways that you can make this as well. And subscribe to the channel so you can have all of these great recipes right at your doorstep as soon as they release. But until next time, I will see you in that next one. Deuces.